Hi everyone, I'm Emanuela Paciotti from POLI.design. Today I will be moderating the presentation of the Specializing Master in Design for Architecture. Please feel free to use the chat to ask any questions you may have, which will be answered at the end of the session. Now let me introduce the speaker, Matteo Ingaramo.
Thank you, Emanuela. Thank you for the introduction. I will try to give you, say, the main elements of this topic and why this topic is the topic of a postgraduate master that is a professionalizing master delivered by a design school. Design for architecture is a specific concept that we had as the founding faculty because we understood that architects and designers, what we basically we consider furniture or product or interior designers are recently in a mature conception of design and architecture on two separate paths. These separate paths are creating specific culture, specific language, specific references that are in some way avoiding the contamination and the integration of culture, knowledge, and tools that the holistic architects and engineers of the early phases of the Politecnico University have had. Is to say that architects are not that much, let's say, focused on the main levels of design, reproduction, economics, technical competencies, and the systemic approach to design that is needed in order to synthesize a value. That is, I'm not saying, and we do not consider architects in a lack of competence, but we consider that architects could need an empowerment of their abilities fronting a market of design that is expecting architects, designers of built manufactures to be able to front and to deal with new expectations. We have architectures that are becoming more temporary. We have architecture, and in this case, we need to assemble, disassemble, to be competent in knowledge about mechanisms, about material choices, about the feasibility, the features of the materials, technical requirements that are needed in order to process an architecture that is much more dedicated to living machines, okay, or machines for life, or machines for working, that are an environment that is very dynamic, that changes quite fastly, in cycles that are shortening every year. Office buildings are changing their visual, they are changing their functional layout in a range that is around 4 years. And on the other side, even the buildings that are almost permanent, like big buildings for residential function, are built under a strong brand value, under a storytelling, under an economic planning, and on a scale in which reproduction aspects, okay, and seriality of architecture are today sometimes a reduction of quality or a lack of competence of architects. And designers, they have this key in their mind, this let's say ability of processing those aspects as a requirements for their profession. So what we wanted to do is to offer to professionals that are involved, engaged into the built environment, into the design for built manufactures, to be able to design them as industrial products in a context that is influenced by market, by economics, by managerial decisions, by the complexity of a big organization that is involved in managing time, costs, delivery, supply chain, and so on. So it's an extension of ability, but from the other side, the designers that are maybe more focused, okay, in products that are, let's say, not making part of an environment, to expand, okay, their abilities in conceiving products that are parts of a system of habitation that could be integrated, okay, with the overview and the larger point of view, the wider, point of view that architects have. Even the cultural deepness of architects could be a very positive contamination for designers. So what we want in these masters, what we would like to attract on these masters are the multidisciplinary combination between two, okay, sources of young professionals, designers and architects, hopefully, not only one category, okay, against the other, okay, and with a kind of integration approach, referring to the wideness of the Italian cultural reference in architecture and in design, to give you a qualitative perspective in the synthesis of multidisciplinarity. All that, okay, should, but we have already some, let's say, feedback, because it's a long time that we run this master, okay, should add peculiarity of on your skills, on your abilities, and you should front the job market with a relevant plus respect to your colleagues of any field, design or architecture itself. We do that giving a set of tools that are methodological and theoretical from one side. We refresh or we make more specific your explicit knowledge about technology or humanities. Okay? Then on the other side, we would like you to be involved in a constant praxis of design, testing and checking the implementation of your abilities through each one of the design studio that you will be involved in during the course. Okay, so you always be engaged on a design process, and in the meanwhile, you will be asked to attend lectures and to experiment contributions that are sometimes specific and sometimes very peculiar, and trying to open, let's say, your cultural mindset and your technical mindset to new contributions, even searching more, because we cannot give you, let's say, in 1 year, okay, the full understanding of the huge amount of informations and approaches that are. So we cannot think about being more, let's say, informed, but we could expect, and we warmly trust on the fact that you will be more able to process informations that you will gather by your own. 4 pillars that are the thematic pillars of this teaching path. Design culture. It is mandatory to be rediscussed and renegotiated for designers, and it has to be introduced and become, let's say, a source of knowledge for architects. Design strategy is to say, as I was saying, buildings are manufactures, buildings are products, buildings are the result of a complex process that is an economic process managed by complex organizations with complex, let's say, processes and expectations on the market. So design strategy could help to open up your approach to construction, to layout design, expanding the range of the reference and the range of the qualities that you have to consider for your design. Design technology is one of the prerogatives of a polytechnical school like Politecnico di Milano, so we will merge informations and solutions and techniques or technology that are regarding both, let's say, field, industrial design from one side and architecture on the other side. Then we will add to all these seminars, okay, and studios. Studios, I already mentioned them, they are making part of the whole path. They are a constant daily engagement in design process, in team working with faculty members and mentors that are coming from the professional world, and you will work with them, for them, okay, and discussing the point of view that you have with academics and professionals. The seminars are giving to you case history and an opening to the professional activity, to what you could be when you will be a mature professional coming out of this master, because some of them were students. I mean, the professionals that are making the contributions into the seminars were students of their alumni, so they are making part of our faculty as adjunct professors or contract professors of the master. Professional outcomes, we need to front the big change of the building sector, of the construction in general, fronting the temporarity, the strategic value of buildings, the function of the buildings that is supporting the business of companies, of organization, is even influencing the organization itself, so the management of human resources, the efficiency of the processes, the ability to get the possibility to get in touch with more efficacy or less respect to the final users. Think about if you are an insurance company or a bank, and how it's important that all the process that of elaboration and of the interaction with your clients will make the business different and successful. Buildings are machines for living, machines for business, and they are materially providing an environment that could make successful or not any kind of activity that is human or mixed between human and digitality. Why choose this master? In Milan, we have two, let's say, historical excellence in design and in architecture. The ranking of the two schools, design and architecture, are constantly around the top 10 design school or architectural school all around the world. The integration between different, the multidisciplinary approach is a prerogative of our teaching approach. The Politecnical framework of Politecnico of Milano could be the best environment to implement your abilities and to give you skills that probably are not provided to any other school all around the world. Milan is a city of reference of design worldwide. It is a kind of melting pot of experimentation about these disciplines, and it's constantly contributing to your culture with a kind of pushing. There is a load of design culture. Milan is a city of change in terms of urban evolution and urban expansion. It's a typical European city in which, let's say, the quality of a future lifestyle and future business positioning is constantly making part of experimentation, research, prototypization, tests, whatever. So we feel that we are the place, we feel that we are the school, we feel that we are the contributors, but I would like more to say mentors for the upgrading of your professional experience in architectural design, or better to say, in design for architecture.
Thank you, Professor Ingaramo, for the presentation. I'd like to add some information about the application process for the next edition of Design for Architecture, which will begin in November 2026. On the Specializing Master webpage in the POLI.design website, you will find the full list of required materials for the selection phase. If you click on the Apply button, you'll be able to create your personal account and upload all the necessary files. The application will be completed on the Politecnico di Milano website by uploading the documents related to your academic qualifications. If you need any help during this phase, you can book a call by scanning the QR code. As you can see, there are two main steps. The first step is the selection step, which must be completed no later than 60 days before the course starting date. And then there is the enrollment step to be completed within 45 days. Please be aware that applications are processed in chronological order, so don't wait for the last minute because spots are limited. You can find the course fee in this slide, along with our promotional policy designed specifically for this program. And this is an initiative to support the design potential of those who choose POLI.design. In particular, I'd like to highlight the early bird promo with variable discounts until all places are filled. We can now move to the Q&A session. So I will go through the questions that we received in the chat. So the first question is a long one. Buona giornata, Emanuele and Matteo. Thank you for your explanation of the program intentions and structures. I am a highly experienced architectural technologist and 55 years young. Am I eligible to apply to the program stream for architecture and or furniture design? Also, is it possible to do an integrated education stream that integrates both streams or disciplines? he refers to architecture plus furniture design.
Let's start to the end, from the end of the question. Integration. We fully believe that the integration of competence is one of the fundamentals of the contemporaneity in this field. Okay? So we would love to, but the credits system, the university credit systems is making us to deliver diplomas that could have shared experiences, and we make some exercises that are delivered in combination between two classes, but the teaching path has to be focused on a topic with a number of hours, with some modules and so on. The structure is rigid in terms of topic, but flexible in terms of experience. The way in which we provide let's say integrated knowledge is firstly the combination, okay, between some master activities. It happens that we have some exercise or design studio that is made as an extra activity that is in parallel, in which in parallel of the course, if you are enrolled in these activities, sometimes we combine 3 masters or 2 or 4 coming from different focus. It could be furniture design, design for architecture, and design and engineering. Or could be any other combination that could give to specific exercises with company partners, in the majority of the cases, okay, the possibility to experiment the integration and to implement the team working, or let's say cross-sectioning approach that our students have. On the other side, our objective is to create teaching paths, courses that are including different backgrounds. So as our friend here it comes from architecture and technology. It could be very interesting if he works in a team with a product designer or a furniture designer, and if he asks me if it happens, it happens, and we would like it to make it happen. That's why about the selection, if there will be any question about that, the selection is not only about the intrinsic quality of your specific CV. We would like to compose, to create an environment of learning in which we have the right, let's say, contribution to from different subjects. And that is one of the addition to the let's say professionality that we could provide to our students. Not only knowledge, not only method, not only specific competencies, but abilities that are soft, sometimes integrated, multidisciplinary, and that are making you more aware about what happens in the professional world that our friend knows better, even better than us, because he's an experienced professional.
Another question is, what kind of projects will be working on during the master?
This picture that you have in the background is a design that we made for a base for a consortium from the America's Cup of Sailing. It was a temporary structure, semi-permanent, okay, temporary structure with flexible functions that were shifting from hospitality to construction of the boat, from a concert hall to an hostel, and so on. So all this flexibility, we're making this building being a machine. That's an experiment about what we call temporary architecture. It could be for America's Cup Challenge, it could be for Formula One transportable living units, it could be a pavilion for an exposition, it could be an emergential habitation unit for earthquakes, for tsunami, for refugees, for homeless. It means that that is the temporality. So being specifically skilled in fronting this kind of manufacts with the knowledge of temporality and not the permanent attitude of building designers. On the other side, what we look for is the combination between the functional or material intrinsic quality of the manufact, okay, how we construct, which materials do we use for windows, walls, floors, ceilings, wood, roofs, systems, okay, and their, let's say, making part of a wider set of decisions that has to be designed. As I said, if you design a retail store or a fast food restaurant, the interaction with your client, the waiting time, the level of, let's say, consciousness about the food processing, visible or not visible, will make all the business different. And the building that is containing the business is designed by us. And any kind of technical solution or layout solution will influence a lot. In our expectation, would better a lot. Okay, the contribution of designers, architects, or designer for architecture or architects for design. Okay, able to really expand the potential of our contribution and to make our clients more competitive. So it's to say that the strategic role of design and architecture will be the other side of this focus that is very common in design and maybe less in architecture, but is very, very close to architects' competencies that has just to be reactivated or activated from this point of view.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for answering these questions. We don't have more questions in the chat, so I thank again Professor Ingaramo for the presentation, and I thank you all for participating, and see you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.